Hi, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Media Pool. In this video essay, I'll be analysing two videos that I created on the viral video module using Moon's model of critical reflection, and then evaluating and reflecting on the development of my teamwork and leadership skills using Gibbs' model of critical reflection. Over the course of this past year, I created two e-learning videos. I'll be comparing each video with the other. Before starting this module, I had no idea how to make a video go viral, and my own definition of virality differed from what it really is. I thought that it meant to get a lot of views and that the time frame was irrelevant, but this is not the case. According to Noun and Hemsley, key characteristics of virality are rapid sharing and diffusion, cross-network contamination, and a sharp acceleration in rates of exposure to audiences, much like a real virus, which I believe both of my videos managed to achieve. I also learned that there are various strategies to achieve virality. In this video, I will be concentrating on each of my video textual characteristics, or bottom-up strategies, which is where the video promotes itself, which is something that I didn't consider to have as much influence as top-down strategies. When creating my videos, I concentrated more on bottom-up strategies, as I already knew some things about top-down strategies from a PR module I did in second year, and I just thought that virality was achieved throughout the promotion of a video itself and not the content. My first video was an e-learning video educating audiences on the difference between PR and propaganda. As I was making an e-learning video, I looked at various theories to help me achieve virality. I found that the e-learning genre was dominated by videos that were either an animation or a slideshow. This surprised me, as according to Guo et al., videos that include people in an informal style are more engaging than those that take the form of a lecture. I thought to myself, that makes sense, as I had also read that images that were posted on Instagram that included faces got 38% more likes than those that didn't. And I thought that this would translate to YouTube too, as engagement is basically the currency of social media. So I decided to make a vlog style video. I also made it fast paced and filmed it in an informal setting, as these were recommendations by Guo et al. To make my video as engaging as possible. And as I already said, engagement is the currency of social media. I also used Burrows' steps framework in order to include as many contagious characteristics in my video as possible. I knew that I could include lots of practical value in my video, as the genre of e-learning set this up for itself. So to say that the very genre of e-learning is basically practical value in itself. It is what the genre is full of practical value. So I decided to educate on the difference between PR and propaganda, as this is something that I had struggled with in the past, and so I guess that other people would struggle with it too, which added to the practical value element, as I found it to be a relevant thing and an issue that people may struggle with, rather than educating on something else that may have been relatively simple to understand. However, I found it difficult to include other steps characteristics in this video as much as I would have liked to. So I think that Burrows' steps framework can only work for a specific type of video, for a specific genre, and I don't think that it reflects much in e-learning videos. I would say that Burrows' steps characteristics you can easily apply to music videos and advertisements, as from their very nature and the amount of creative freedom that there is with those genres of videos, it's a lot easier to include each step characteristics if you like to. And for my second video, despite not knowing what the brief would be at the time, I knew that I wanted to pick a topic or a genre, if I could, of a video where I could include a lot of different steps characteristics that was more engaging and had more potential for a lot more different steps characteristics, as that was something that I struggled with my first video, and I wanted to achieve virality with my video. Moving on to my second video, which was my group video based around Dr. Kat Mahoney's research on feminism and Instagram. As it was a group video and as a group we chose this topic, I thought to myself, this topic will be much easier to include a lot of Burrows' steps characteristics, as it just seems to be a more free topic and more engaging, which I'll get onto now, which is something that I wanted to achieve. After my first video, I wanted to include more steps characteristics, if possible, into my second video. And this was because it had more social currency, emotion and practical value, which are some things that my first video lacked. For example, it had a high degree of social currency as it was about feminism, which at the time was becoming more and more prevalent in the press for various reasons, along with emotion, as people had dealt with issues on Instagram and also had personal experiences with feminism, and practical value as it was an e-learning video in itself. I used a similar format to my first video, as I had good levels of relative audience engagement on this video, so I was confident in the format, which I learnt from Guo et al. However, I changed the framing and the lighting of this setup to be more attractive because of suggestions from my tutor from my first video that I did. I also found it quite difficult to include all of the steps characteristics again within this video, so I can agree with myself on what I thought from my first video, is that the steps framework works really well for a certain genre of video but not for every video. And it's also important to remember that not every viral video includes every part of the steps framework, but it can definitely be used as a guide to achieve virality. In the future, I will not limit my creative abilities by sticking to every characteristic in the steps framework when it's not a one-size-fits-all scenario. I also believe that the YouTube algorithm has a lot of influence over whether videos go viral or not, and it can seem quite random, so I will do more research into this, starting with Catherine Manning's videos like this one. Now, for the second part of my video, I will be using Gibbs' model of critical reflection to reflect on my development of teamwork and leadership skills. So, my second project was a group one, which I was apprehensive about at first, as I had concerns about everyone pulling their weight and negative experiences within teamwork in the past, which is one of Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions of a team, but I knew there was a lot to learn from teamwork and a lot of skills that could be developed. I was put into a team with people I did not know well and split into 2 sub-teams quite early on in what I would argue as the forming stage. Within the sub-team, I used a mix of visionary and participative leadership styles, as I knew we had a task to do and I didn't want to waste time, but I was also aware that there were some more timid members of the group, so I wanted to encourage them to share their thoughts and ideas as well. When we rejoined as a team, we had to decide which video idea we would produce. Here, there was the possibility of a fear of conflict, as both sub-teams had different ideas, but we agreed on our sub-team's idea based on Dr. Kat Mahoney's research into feminism and Instagram, due to its contagious characteristics potential. I was pleased to see that the other team members believed in our idea, and it gave us motivation to get going with the project. During the production stage of our video, we unfortunately had a problem as a member of our team filmed their sections in a different format to the rest of our video, and personally this made me feel quite anxious that we would not be able to stick to the deadlines on our promotion plan, and also maybe lose marks on our submission. Also, as a group, we had skipped the storming stage of Tupman's model and went straight to the norming stage. However, we went back to the storming stage when this incident happened. So I would argue that Tupman's model is not linear, and in some cases may not fit every team, as we were confident that we would not have a storming stage to quote a team member. I don't think Tupman's model is accurate. We're getting on really well. To resolve this issue, I took on the coaching leadership style, so that the team member did not feel that they had let the team down, and I wanted to be more positive about the issue and just to reinforce that it was a mistake that could be easily solved and that it wasn't anything done on purpose. I also messaged them privately so they felt as little shame and embarrassment as possible, if any at all. Fortunately, the team member quickly understood the issue and it was resolved quickly, making me feel relieved and happy that I had done a good job in handling the situation. I think that had I not said anything, the situation may have escalated and potentially caused a big rift within our team, and also potentially just not get resolved at all. If this were to happen in the future, for example, in my summer internship coming up, I would not waste as much time as I did worrying about what will happen before even trying to solve the problem. I now have more positive thoughts towards teamwork, which I did not previously, and I understand how it can be a beneficial thing in motivating others that can end in high quality results. Looking back, I wish that I was more active at the beginning of the group project and being more vocal about my opinions and ideas, which only occurred after we broke up into smaller sub-teams. Whilst I would argue that these sub-teams early on hindered our development as a team as a whole, it also gave me some confidence in speaking and voicing my opinions, as it was a smaller group. This confidence remained when we rejoined as a larger group, and from that I was more vocal in team meetings, and I am satisfied with my contributions to the team and the final project.